Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to this listening session. My name is Augustine Amba. One of the reasons why we name our show Voices is because we believed that if we create a platform for many voices to come and contribute to our struggle, we will be very, very successful. And the first voice that we want to listen to today on this first listening session will be the voice of General Ivo. I call him General Ivo because that's the name by which he fought in the revolution for the liberation of Ambazonia before he passed.
When I'm on in house, I go talk before I die. But I know say I go die. My way no say he go remain, he no go die. Now he lucky. But any my way he put die for front, no go die now. Wait till I want make come now understand. I not even greet you now. Now because I'm not fine work I carry and come. I'm not time for enjoyment. This I go to salute now. That salute said even stop from now. Anyhow, we man like me put them say that food if dang then they work no nothing. They work now only for talk. When I want to be a social media artist or go be social media artist. I want to tell you wait way. I don't see them. I know so I know go regard them. I know if you understand now. I know regard. I know take like anything. But in a few in the long run, I know what I mean. I want to tell you the true way I see them. Now 12, now past 12 this. 16 past 12. I woke up back for tell now which I tell now. Now Sisiko is spirit. And the leaders where they hold them. Now they walk on town now. When I know why Jesus go live, we see the fair. Because we've been at the better person. The better ones they don't go. I talk every day with my audio. So the better ones they don't go. All will remain on a chaffs. And Sisiko spirit they work for Antona. When I don't take African tradition, carry and go for others. And now only you go follow una, so te una come back, no man will tell una. So under run lesson I need to follow them. So under one counter or turn mumu, so under blind. If una no change, all the two are talk so will happen for some of una. Una magnitude I tell una. When I know when I say Jesus or tell on Sunday, we mean as some prophet tell una. And Sisiko, with the leaders there, they've already in spirit work on tona. When they ask for no give excuse say, they give for put another leader so that they'll be present for United Kingdom. Since that time where they host Sisiko, all do na mobile and Kim can take money, then chop and do one carry own run, do one say the own season, do one say I'm Robert Taki, do one go for send money for my trip to Boya, do one send this. All those money. If we take that money, we put them for ground, we buy weapon, they get for ground. Then we use prayer and fasting for Sisiko, and they've come over that place, not to know they will be above God. When I neglect that prayer, but if some man concentrate for 2 days, he pray, go see, wait to be difficult, he go see, I go relax. I want to tell you, say that spirit, now that Sisiko, is straight away, the straight inside there, and where they come and where they pass through, now they follow now. Since when I start talking that new governor elect, which they are representative for UN, which they are representative for United Nations. Now which kind of government are representative for United Nations? The kind of government where they out now for league play where a group then they picking them how they buy gun and they can't stick with the whole arm, they can't think they don't buy arm, I don't buy this for my group, I don't buy this. They my group there for the whole, it is stay for year and they go block the road. They my group any small strategy they will move and the foolish commanders and generals they go down. They call una tell una way plan of action, no never finish the action. They already tell una say we are planning to do this, we are planning to do this, we are planning to do this. Una carry and put them for air. In the name of saying they no stay in my group, when they go do army, they not send us a different group in my group. If una don't present that government, down leaders for UN, I believe say this thing over they play with it today. Una they honor for said we move die off in down here. I want to tell una something. When I call Ayabacho, call this na general na Ivo. Be general for Ayabacho or this or that. No man no get general. They may pay no man. Una come out for update come for down here, can take all the general posts, take the if una be for down here, una take general, una take president, this thing will end. Una come down now. If una come down inside the week, next week, this in the end, una come up una the president, no quarry no go there again. Una just come stand one day, una see. If all una be there for the public front, because the population of plenty. They don't kill we need prayer of feeder space. So now we bomb became a big now. Una come now, can join and make the population plenty. Una dey for update for the make noise every day. If CC cannot come out, now my curse what again. If they don't pray hard, do fasting and prayer, Miss CC could be released to that place. This struggle will continue for by to na the go. We go die, we don't sign up for die. But we go suffer some suffer, we never ever see them. The suffer no go end for una. All na for update on a day out na for the make noise every day. Talk about this one, talk place the whole day, talk thing the whole lamb. If we cross go, look like last week now about 5 days pray. I be there, I be come out. Una don't make come I come out. If now God bring me safely, I thank God I reach safely. Una don't make noise all place, all mando. My number say I don't know who the fake give una. I don't know how it start. I go change number today. One make 3 days. All una don't get them. Enemy of progress. Una don't take plum. Una don't take plum for. Una don't take red plum, pent and black. The show for people. Una be fool. But forget not say if that man buy am for you go born and you no done. Or you born and that pent wipe. If they lie you, sometimes you smile you chasing your friend, not your friend. Two go do and say go sleep near a woman. Only for sick plum. I tell una, and I go see the tell una. Some people talk say better thing than they will happen. Me one of you talk and the kind thing that happen. You can talk now. I no get nothing no day for that one. If una feel like saying I for kill me, it go make you take that independent. I be ready for stand for population. They cut me half million independent. Move take walan. I believe say I know we talk and people they get ear or the way they get eye, they don't say. Say me I stand anything will come away, I know say I go send them. I go send them. So I don't look no more the fear. No man no do my record. I be ready for tell una the truth. As I talk, una continue to keep una plan for kill me. All to una plan them. Ma tell una God is revealing for me. When I say God is revealing for me, not for dream. The people where they tell me how it happened, now God use them. I don't know why God use me for tell una, but I don't tell una. If una not bear una head for down, for pray serious, me all the whole Southern Cameroon no live pray for others. The whole Southern Cameroon not put una head them for down, for pray hard, do fasting and prayer. For move Suzuko them for update because the better ones they do for update. Le will suffer so I don't know play go end. For me, not hard me for look place go be. I just say when God don't choose you, you know if you disobey him. And when God choose you, know if you run. Because all you are wrong, you just can't say them in one place. I don't go lie when I keep down an African tradition, one can go for update. Your brother die and my brother a woman for African tradition, man we start sleeping. Suzuko run come out and I jump climb a chair. The chair when I enter there, I never see no rifle, no supply for down. For the tongue, that's why each group one they call a group. If you don't get like 50-50 rifle, 50-50 rifle for all. But yeah, names are for money, and they say no matter when I make noise for me. When I make noise, coach me, fire for kill me, do all kinds of things. This number my papa is in. Man not talk plenty, when I make a whole talk some number my papa get this struggle. I don't know play my family day. I don't even know. They don't destroy all to a concern me. Can't take a bomb end to a concern me, enter farm, destroy and do all to a concern me. But one tell when I say, if now God choose me, I will see the end. No man or the woman born away will kill me. If the worst come to the worst, I will leave and corner. I find my place, I go be. I go leave them, I find my place, I will be one, I take the independent, I see all I will count or drive me. Say if you come halfway. No not tabala the play. Or if my seat fall for line, the terms I don't feel. No not tabala this now war. When I just want to step up there. They want to ask no my opinion. First send I don't tell on my mind. I don't tell on my mind. Not to know they worry me. Even I feel a sense for the one a kiwi. Or sometimes I can't kill me or I will kill any person way relate to me. It will solve this trouble. When probably I find me when I find me, find my family when I find me, find my beginning when I find me, then when I do and some will get independent. Because if today Jesus come out for heaven, stand for light, talk say, if I kill that independent will come out, I know will lie on they no break me. So if I don't say and say don't talk for una, Jesus will use any man, God will use any man. If you don't use now, they wanna eliminate me. Move to that independent, I beg una.
Okay, you did listen to that with me. The words the prophetic words of a very, very frustrated soldier on the ground. I'm going to just summarize by the note that I made. He talked about Siseko. He mentioned Siseko Ayok Tabe's name more than 5 times. And it seems to be the center of his struggle, because he thinks that what is wrong in the way the diaspora or those who have taken over from Siseko are treating him in jail is what is also wrong with the struggle. So he says Siseko Ayok Tabe's spirit is haunting us. And when I talk of us, I'm not talking us Ambazonians. I'm talking us in the diaspora. Because if you listen to Ivo the way I did, I think his address is mostly to the leadership that is in the diaspora, and by extension to all of us in the diaspora. Because those who follow the leadership that he's talking about in the diaspora are following that leadership willingly. Because nobody forces anybody in the diaspora to collaborate with some of the leaders that he's criticizing. If we don't change, bad things will happen. He talks about money stolen by he mentioned my trip to Boya. He mentioned it sounds like money is also stolen by other agents who work in the process. Siseko's spirit under torture from the enemy is haunting us. Intervention on ground zero is destroying the fight. He talks about lack of control of information, that before he changes his phone number within 3 days, the number has been handed over to other people. They plan strategies. The strategies are exposed because information is sent to the diaspora. The diaspora takes it and exposes that information because they want the world to know that they are the people, or their group is the one executing a particular action on the ground. And so because of this, information is being dispersed all around the place. He talks about that this is destroying this disposition. This lack of control of information is destroying the fight on the ground. He said none of the diaspora owns a general on ground zero. This is very important because he says people call him the general of Ayabacho and says nobody owns a general on the ground. Nobody pays him to be a general on the ground. And I've always spent time saying that these people who sit abroad and think that they own soldiers on the ground, soldiers they've never met, soldiers that they did not invite, they did not recruit, soldiers that have no allegiance to them. But these boys, so these soldiers form their units, and people from abroad collect money. I've said this many times. Collect money from the diaspora, then call them and say, hey, say that you are my general, or you are my soldiers, and I will send you some money. And that's what is happening. These people take the money, but they really don't have allegiances to these people who sit abroad claiming that they are their soldiers. Our responsibility in the diaspora was to help these people with financing, and we don't have to put conditions on those financing. They are the leaders on the ground. We are supposed to support them as our leaders on the ground. But because we've taken leadership from them, and I shouldn't say we, because I don't want to put the whole of diaspora in as part of this mess. But those who usurped the powers of these leaders from the ground and put themselves in the diaspora collecting money and trying to control them with that money are messing up the revolution for them. That's what he's saying. He invites us to join them on ground zero. He invites the diaspora to join them on ground zero. He says if we come down there and actually join them in fighting, maybe we'll be making more sense to them. That being in the diaspora doesn't make sense. And yes, there are many people who have died, and we should come down and also fight. Since we really think that we own the revolution, we own the struggle rather than them. Because if we did not claim that we own them, they would just say support us with finance. But we refuse to support them with finance. We're saying that we own them, they are our generals, we own the government, and we spend time fighting with our own leaders who have been put in jail. When your leader goes to jail, you support him. You don't usurp his powers and then start causing problems for him. And he's saying that is wrong. And so he's saying, if you want to claim the struggle, come down and fight. Join them on the ground. If Siseko is not treated better, the struggle will be cursed. Those are his words. Call us enemies. He calls the diaspora enemies of progress. We lie, and the lies will catch up with us. That's what he says. He is willing to die for the freedom of Ambazonia. He feels threatened with death, but he's not afraid, he says. Siseko's powers were usurped, and the struggle abandoned him. He has lost everything in the process. Ivo has lost everything in the process. He says that Biya is looking for him, and internally there are people being put to kill him too. Those are the words of Ivo. And then he reminds us that what we are in is not child's play. It is a war. Those are Ivo's words. And I want you to think about that. Think about what he said. And reflect on it. See if you want to change your behavior. He's telling us to change our behavior. He's telling us that the most intelligent leaders in this struggle are those in jail. Ivo's words. He's a general on the ground. And I have, in my experience, those are the people who really control the revolution, and they are smarter. Very, very smart people. Because they're not only smart, they're very bold. And they have been able to take on the French for the last 4 years, and the French haven't been able to defeat them. So I will listen to them. Obviously, what is happening on the ground now is exactly what the general talked about. We know about infighting where one general sends troops to go and kill other Amba boys from another camp in order to preserve the powers. That's the curse going on. There are many people right now who will not tell you that the struggle is where it was a few years back. So there is some rethinking. I just want to share that's my take on what Ivo is saying. And you listen to him, I'm sure you have your own take. But the truth is that things have gotten worse. And I want to read a poem here which is reflecting on what is happening with our people on the ground. Because what Ivo is talking about is what is happening. He's discussing the relationship between the fighters on the ground and the so-called leadership and financiers of the struggle that are in the diaspora. But what is happening to the people on the ground? There's a poem here by Margaret Awonto, and it says, "Why are you leaving home?" Because thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of our people have left home. They're internally displaced, suffering in the fringes of La République, some in the bushes, and some in foreign countries. Now, this is the experience of one of those people living the territory, as written by Miss Margaret Awonto. Why are you leaving home? On my way to Douala, I watched the sun dance before me in gentle strides of light as if waving goodbye, and my heart flutters, and my heart flounders. Memories of home churn in my tummy like a fetus in its mother's womb, aching for release, aching to live. A man with eyes fiery like a soothsayer's traces the lines on my palm and asks, "Daughter, why are you leaving home?" I tell him, home is the color of his eyes, rising up in flames like a lava spouting volcano. Home is a tavern of drunk, raucous men searching for power in all the wrong places. Home is a valley of sorrow, echoing with sounds of dirges and eulogies. Home is a lover that shapeshifts into a foe in the stillness of the night. Home is a woman in an abusive marriage, tending her children's wounds. Home is a synonym for graveyard with the epitaph, one and indivisible. Do not ask me about home. At the stop in Banga, the sun crunches beneath a cloud as if in worship. The sky is somber like a child about to cry. Passengers hurry about in search of nourishment. A boy with freckled bones walks in with soya that smells like pain. I sneeze, and the sound of home escapes my lips. A woman with crystal-like eyes stares at me like a human scanner and beckons me to buy from her. I order a portion of roasted plantains and plums, and a taste of homelessness and broken dreams. She takes my hands and traces the lines on my palm and asks, "Daughter, why have you left home?" I show my festering heart and say, home is a mirage of bondage reflected as freedom. Home is a mother bearing her only child. Home is a newlywed couple caught in a crossfire. Home is a breastfeeding mother raped in her house. Home is my friend's father kidnapped for money. Home is dozens of families living in bushes. Home is an indebted man's shop burnt to ashes. Home is Reverend Sob's blood crying for justice. Home is a dungeon of armed pubescent lads parading the streets as soldiers. Home is a deluge of anguish drowning my people. Home is a lover that broke my heart. Do not ask me about home. The poem I just read to you is published in a book called Bearing Witness. It's just a newly published book. If you want to get a copy, it's all full of poems of Ambazonians expressing their feelings about this war. I don't want to end this program with this depressing mode, because in the final analysis, the Ambazonian people are where they need to be. They are fighting a fight that was postponed. It's a fight that should have been fought in the late 50s and early 60s. But this fight was postponed. And what is painful about what this poem is saying and about what General Ivo is saying is that if we don't handle this well, it may be postponed again. And each time that we postpone it, it becomes more difficult. I want to end this listening session with the words of Professor Anyangwe, a man who knows this struggle end to end. He knows the struggle, and his words are words that are well informed.
So let's get hope. Let's have hope. And as you know, we've emerged victorious in this whole thing. We've done very well these 3 years of fighting. In a few more years, we are going to emerge.
Absolutely.
If you think of countries that have fought for 30 years, 20 years, and so on and so forth, before even the UN even tried to look at what is going on. So we have not done badly. We have not done badly. And I think the next 1 or 2 years, we should have a very clear idea of precisely when we shall come to our own, because that is not negotiable. It's independence or nothing else. Thank you.